Hello and welcome to the Tas Morning Show. Well, we all know that yoga is one of the most ancient and popular practices in the world. And it's believed that yoga was considered as a meditative form by the yogis. In today's time, we know that yoga also helps in improving the physical and the mental well-being of a person. Well, today on our show, we have a prestigious guest, Dr. H.R. Nagendra, who is the Chancellor of the Swami Vivekananda Yoga University in Bangalore, and also he's known widely across the globe as a yoga guru. Welcome to the show, Dr. H.R. Nagendra. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Sir, I would actually like to begin the show by asking that do you feel that yoga is more of a mental or a physical practice? And do you also feel that yoga is now becoming an alternate form of medicine and healing? Do you believe that?
Yoga is a way of life. It's a science of holistic living.
Right.
It deals with the body, the mind, emotions, intellect, and the total growth. Yoga is meant essentially to transform themselves from their normal level to become great human beings, superhuman beings, divine human beings, and reach the perfection itself. It's a conscious process.
Right.
And that's emerging therefore as the order of the day. If Industrial Revolution brought science and technology, now it is the role of yoga that is bringing all the revolution, a new revolution emerging throughout the world.
Right.
Because it brings peace, harmony, love, affection among people.
Right.
And can build a single family, one world family.
Right.
And that one future.
I agree.
That's the greatness of yoga.
I agree, yeah. So you believe that it is, it's improving a person's health and well-being. Yoga helps in improving a person's health and well-being. You believe in that?
Yeah.
Right? That's nice. Well, could you enlighten us about, we have chakras in our body, right? So the chakras are more like spiritual energies in our body, right? So how does yoga help in improving the balance and, settling us down? How does yoga help? What is the correlation of chakras and yoga in our body?
See, the physical body is known as the Annamaya Kosha, or the gross physical body.
Right.
But then we have a subtle body called the pranic body.
Right.
And in this pranic body, there are different chakras, different levels. And when we start elevating ourselves from our normal levels, become great human beings, then slowly these chakras get awakened.
Correct.
Normally, chakras are all dormant.
Correct.
The Kundalini Shakti, as it is called, is dormant. But once you elevate yourself to the higher level, then slowly this normal energy that we have get transformed into a higher form of energy called as the Kundalini Shakti. Very, very powerful.
Right.
And one has to be very, very careful to invoke this Kundalini Shakti. If they do not prepare this body properly, there can be more hazards than good.
Correct.
Just like you have a thin wire and you put a 5000 volts, the wire will burn.
Right. That's
Similarly, the body has to be prepared. That is the caution given in the Tantra Shastra.
Right.
And once you prepare, then the Kundalini Shakti rises and moves from one chakra to the next like this. And when this moves, then you get extraordinary powers, extraordinary happiness, extraordinary knowledge, extra sensory perception, as often called. And therefore people are very fascinated for this Kundalini things and the Tantra Shastra and awakening the chakras and other things. But the caution given is you have to prepare yourself.
Correct.
So suddenly you can jump into PhD, you cannot jump. You have to move from primary school, high school, secondary school, college, like this.
Correct.
You have to go.
Correct.
That is the important thing.
Correct.
People miss this and they start jumping into it and they have more hazards.
Correct, correct. So it's always better to be, to awaken your chakras, it's always better to have education first and be under a supervision of maybe a yoga guru or a therapist. Then only it's
proper teacher who knows how to deal with this. If they get into such challenges, then he must know how to solve this thing.
Correct.
This many people do not know because they do not understand the whole science behind it.
Correct.
There is a big shastra behind that.
Correct.
Just like a medical doctor,
Correct.
He should know everything about the diabetes if he is an endocrinologist.
Correct.
And he studies for 20 years, understanding.
Right.
Similarly, it's also a very huge science.
Right. And well, I'm just asking you this because I'm curious. You are also the Chancellor of Swami Vivekananda Yoga University in Bangalore. So I believe your college is also, your university is also giving this education to all the people coming in there. So it's the right thing that people should come and, educate themselves, right?
Correct, yes.
So then they'll have more knowledge about yoga and they'll be comfortable in taking care of the entire body and all the energies.
Correct.
It's a very nice thing. Well, talking about energies, the next question actually
so in our university, therefore, you move from just 200 hours yoga training or 300 hours to a systematically developed UG program, then PG program, bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctoral program. People study. A bachelor's degree nowadays is going to be 4 years. And the master's is 2 years. And the doctoral program 3 to 5 years, 6 years.
Correct.
So it's a systematically developed thing. That's what we have been able to do in our university.
And it's
and
a good
that is
thing.
the need of the hour today.
Yes. It's a good thing. People need education about yoga so that they know what is right, what is wrong. It's a very good thing. Well, as I said that I was about to ask you the next question about energies. The next question for you is this, and science, energy and science. So what's the neuroscience behind yoga? How do you feel that pranayam or the breath work, asanas and steady postures and even meditation affects the brain? Because I believe everything starts from here, correct? So what's the neuroscience of yoga and the brain?
Yoga, there are 4 main streams of yoga. Called Gnana Yoga, Raj Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga. Gnana Yoga essentially deals with analysis, intellect. Whereas Bhakti Yoga deals with the emotions. And the Raj Yoga deals with the willpower. Karma Yoga converts every action into a yoga. And therefore, for the modern times when there are so many challenges on all fronts, you need an integral yoga. That's what Sri Aurobindo had put. Swami Vivekananda has given this direction. So we have this holistic vision. Once you do that, there is going to be a transformation of the brain. What we call it, plasticity of the brain starts developing. New wiring start taking place in the brain. And for example, IQ levels increase. And memory increase. And then emotional stability is going to come up. All this thing shows up in the brain. And your sleep structure is going to get transformed. All these things happen. So I have a wonderful lab in our university. The best lab where you can measure all aspects of the brain. And you can see how much is the blood flow and what areas of the brain get invoked, what areas get subsided. All these things you can track. And a lot of research has undertaken today to show the development of the brain. So that there is going to be enhanced personality, memory development, IQ development, emotional stability, all these start coming up. Therefore, one has to use yoga practices judiciously, correctly. That's very important.
Yes. In order to calm your mind, you need to use it properly. Lovely. All right. So I have another question, which is, can you describe one time probably in your life where you have helped someone with yoga? I'm sure with your experience and knowledge in yoga, you must have come across a lot of people who must have required help, in certain physical or mental aspects. So could you share an experience that you've had with someone where you've helped them improve their life with yoga?
On various fronts. For example, children. So within 10 days, when you give this yoga, their memory, for example. The audio memory increases 24% in just 10 days. Audio visual memory increases by 21%. Visual memory 19%. Short range memory 13%. Long range memory 9%. So there is going to be a wonderful development of the memory. In the brain, those memory cells are going to get transformed. So when you see the children coming up so nicely, you are very thrilled. Similarly, it has applications in various fields. People suffering from tremendous amount of stress in the corporate world. They are stressed up so much and they are becoming insomniac. And when they come, they start doing yoga, they have wonderful growth, you know. Their sleep starts becoming transformed and they sleep very well.
Yes.
And then their efficiency starts increasing and they are able to do the work which takes 2 hours, they do that in 1 hour.
Yes,
Efficiency goes
efficiency increases.
So in the corporate
Yes.
world, yoga has worked miracles. Lakhs of people have started using the yoga. Similarly, in the field of health, you know, modern NCDs, non-communicable diseases, asthma, diabetes,
Yes.
hypertension, heart problem, epilepsy, cancer,
Yes, yes.
everywhere yoga has a contribution to make. What cannot be tracked with allopathy, you can start tracking with yoga.
Right.
People who are almost declared dead, very, very severe condition, when they say you will not live more than 3 months, 6 months, when they come to yoga, they start developing, they will live for 10 years, 20 years.
Wow.
So when you see such things happening, you really get fascinated
Yes.
about the power. What
Agreed.
it shows is we have such immense power within us.
Yes,
And
we do.
only it has to be invoked.
Yes.
Yoga is a process for invoking the thing. I give an example. There is sun is there,
Yeah.
but dark clouds, so you are not getting the sunset.
Correct.
Suppose the clouds goes away, all the things come. Therefore, we all have like sun, immense power,
Energy,
freedom,
power.
knowledge, bliss, everything there.
Yes.
But we have covered ourselves with the 5 layers of what we call Anandamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Pranamaya, Koshas.
Right.
And once this gets purified, all things is going to come out. In fact, that is the process what yoga offers. Yoga is a process of purification.
Right.
So the goal of life essentially is to manifest the divinity, as Swami Vivekananda said.
Right.
That
right.
immense power, freedom, knowledge, bliss. So we must day by day must become more powerful, more knowledgeable, more blissful, and we should move towards prevention of diseases, promotion of positive health.
Correct. I agree. Totally. I totally agree to just exactly what you said. Well, all right. Last but not the least, what's your suggestion to our viewers to guide them on a right path? You can feel free to tell them whatever you want so that they can also start being yoga, start taking their, yoga sessions seriously and practicing yoga more often. Please, would you give some suggestions to our
All
viewers?
over the world, our Honorable Prime Minister wanted to bring this knowledge of yoga to people at large in his brilliant speech when he talked about yoga and proposed that we should have one day celebrated as International Day of Yoga.
Agreed.
And that day he proposed June 21st.
Yes.
And what a response.
Yeah.
180 countries. Yes, we all want. And all of our Islamic friends and related countries, 45 Islamic countries also came. Yes, they also want yoga.
Yeah.
And here we have come essentially during the 9th International Day. We went to Bahrain, they went to Riyadh, we come here, and wonderful program organized by the Yoga City here,
Yeah.
our Prema and
Yes,
others,
yes.
and also the ambassador called us.
Yes.
Therefore we came here
Yes.
to bring this dimension of International Day of Yoga and the practices related to that. All the yoga masters in India, they put them together into a nice protocol of nearly 40 minutes, which contains all the 4 streams of yoga, Gnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, which can be done by everybody.
Okay.
And this should be done more and more people. In
Right.
India, we gave a target
Yeah.
that it should be 25 crores this year.
Right.
That's 250 million people.
Right.
Last year it is 200 million.
Right.
So like that, spreading in every nook and corner of India. Similarly, our vision is that here also in Muscat, in the whole of Oman, Oman, we have to see that we bring this yoga dimension to everybody's life. So it will bring health, harmony, peace, and build one world, one family, one future.
Correct.
That is the goal our Honorable Prime Minister has set for G20 this year. And therefore the theme given for IDY is one family, one world. Vasudha eva kutumbakam, as it said in Sanskrit.
Yes, in
This
Sanskrit.
entire
Yes.
world is one family.
Agreed.
And that is the goal. This is what we want to do that.
Yeah. So we've heard from Dr. H.R. Nagendra that everyone should practice yoga because it's good for the health, for the mind, and a lot of good things come out of it, right? In order to live a happy and healthy life, practice yoga. Well, so we have a short rapid 5 round for you. It's going to be light and it's going to be fun questions, which is more about you. So are we ready? Yeah?
Yes.
All right, fine. So the first question is, could you please share any of your favorite books that you have read?
There is one book which called Turning Point.
Turning Point.
Turning Point by Fritz of Capra.
Lovely.
He is a person from California.
Uh-huh.
He traced the entire history of modern science from the beginning,
Right.
how the whole world has changed. and where science stands and how science is going to go further.
Right. What does your ideal weekend in your life look like? What are you doing on a weekend?
In a weekend,
Yeah.
I do little more of yogic practices.
Yogic practice, yes.
And also think of new research dimensions and what is happening in the world.
Correct.
What is the way that we have to meet the challenges.
Right.
And we have nice brainstorm sessions
Lovely.
with our people.
Lovely,
in the
lovely.
surrounding.
That's amazing. Awesome. Okay. So, what do you think is the meaning of life?
Meaning of life is to be very happy all the time.
Right.
And healthy.
Right.
And become more and more efficient.
Right.
In the whole encounter and contribute more and more to the society.
Correct.
Give more to the society than what you receive.
Correct.
That's what we should do.
Correct.
And this is what all religions speak.
Yes.
And every aspect of yoga talks about this thing.
Right.
That you contribute more to the society than what you receive.
Receive. What is one of the best piece of advice someone has ever given to you? Advice. I'm sure in your career and your experience, you must have received some advice from some dignitaries.
I got a advice from Sri Eknathji Ranade,
Okay.
who mentored me when I was in Vivekananda Kendra,
Right.
that we should work for bringing all people together, all yoga masters together, and all the world together.
Right.
This should be our mission, he
Yes.
said. And that's the piece of advice that I got,
Yeah.
on which I have been working.
You're still working on it, and I'm happy. It's beautiful. It's commendable. Well, last question. What is that one thing on your bucket list you would like to achieve this year?
This year, we have taken up control of hypertension in India.
Lovely.
And by using the yoga dimension, can we control the growth of hypertension? Throughout the country in India, we are doing that.
Right.
And we want to do that same thing in different parts of the world.
Right.
By modern scientific research on side and collect all data that is needed for that thing and build the people experts in the field of hypertension
Right.
to make this possible. We have
Right.
an international advisory board, national advisory board, they come together and then develop nice thing, and finally we should be able to publish that research in the
Right.
best of the journals. So it will
Right.
become a order of the day and people
Right.
will accept.
Right.
Today in the era of science and technology, everything is research.
Right.
Unless you have research, it will not be acceptable.
Correct.
Therefore we have published papers in the best. This is what we have been doing. Nearly we have published nearly 1,000 research papers in the field of yoga.
Right.
That's the speciality of our university.
Right,
In
right.
all fields.
Right.
Field of yoga on spirituality, division of yoga on life sciences, division of management studies, physical sciences
Right.
and humanities.
Right.
Everywhere we have been bring this research dimension.
Right.
This is what Swami Vivekananda said. Combine the best of the East with the best of the West.
Yes.
Best of the West is modern scientific research.
Right.
Best of the East, yoga, spirituality.
Yes.
And this has to be brought forth. That
Yes.
is the vision. And for this year,
Perfect.
using that hypertension control.
So that's the
5 years back we
Yeah.
had on diabetes,
Yeah.
then 3 years back we had on COVID, now this
Right.
year hypertension.
Right. So hypertension is on your bucket list to actually achieve, like,
Correct.
around the world you want to relax it and be
Correct.
there. Okay, that's great. Yeah, that's really nice. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to have you on our show. This was amazing. We got to know so much about yoga and about the university and what people can, do with yoga and the knowledge they can gain. This is amazing. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you very much for your nice
Thank you.
searching questions.
Thank you.
And I hope this will help the people to understand yoga to a greater extent.
Definitely.
And I invite you to come to India, come to our university, have a look at it.
I
That's
will.
a way that you can develop.
I surely will. After doing research about your university and yoga science itself, I'm really impressed. I would definitely make my way to Bangalore soon. Thank you so much.
Until that, I'm glad that you came here.
Yes.
Thanks to Prema, she is doing wonderful work here.
Yes.
And others
Yes.
are slowly coming up and developing.
Yes.
Hope here also we'll bring yoga into the school,
Yes.
also into the hospital through integrative medicine.
Yes.
This is the way ahead.
Yes.
Today when we are going to meet ambassador,
Yeah.
this is what we are going to propose.
Lovely.
Just like we did in Bahrain,
Yes.
in Riyadh,
Yes.
here also we are going to bring this dimension. Education
Nice.
and health. These are the two things we have to bring yoga.
Yoga education and yoga health,
Correct.
health and well-being of a person. That's
correct.
nice. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Dr.
Very good.
Dr. H.R. Nagendra. It
All
was
the
amazing.
best.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching the TAS Morning Show. For more updates like these, follow the Arabian Stories.